Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. It's KC on location, and today I want to show you a special new product that I just received. Here we go. It is the Rodecaster Pro. It is a device for podcasting made easy. It's an all-in-one solution for podcasting, and without further ado, let me show you what it's all about. First, actually, let me just bring in the camera a little bit closer so I can show you all the different stuff that's on my table. This is a temporary setup right now. I just have this table set up so I can have all my podcasting gear as a way of showing you what I have for now. I just ordered a special desk that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. It is the Autonomous Smart Desk 2. It's the extra large 70-inch wide desk, and it's an electric standing desk that will have you just press a button on these memory presets, so it'll rise up and down automatically. It's really cool. So I'm going to have enough space to be able to put all this podcasting gear on the desk, as well as my computers, monitors, and camera gear. So I can't wait for that. I'm really excited about that. And I might probably do an extra separate video on that as well. Let me just bring in the camera a little bit closer so I can zoom in on what's shown on the table and show you a better view. All right, so here we have the main unit right here. This is the Rodecaster Pro. I installed the firmware update version 2.1, which gives you like a whole lot of additional functionality. Just zoom in a little bit closer still. All right, so moving from left to right, let me just show you what I have here. On the left side, we have, these are optional accessories. This is the $30 SC9 cable. What this allows you to do, if the camera can zoom in, what it allows you to do is to be able to connect to your smartphone to the Rodecaster Pro for making phone call recordings. So this is the cable right here. It is a 3.5 millimeter to 3.5 millimeter cable. It's a TRRS cable. It has the 3 black rings. And what I had to do was also get this separate adapter. It is a 3.5 millimeter to USB-C cable, because nowadays all phones, or most of the new phones nowadays, don't even have a 3.5 millimeter jack. So you need like an adapter. This is for an Android phone. In this case, I'm using the Samsung Note 10 Plus smartphone. And so what I would do is connect the cord to the adapter like so. And then I would connect it to the phone at the bottom, like so. And that way I'm able to make phone calls and record a podcast that way. The other cable that I have here is the optional $20 Rode DC USB 1 cable. And what this special cable allows me to do is, notice over here I have, let me just zoom out a little more so I can show you. Over here we have an external battery. This is an external battery that I got from Amazon. I think the brand name is Panergy. I can put a link on the bottom comments if you like. And what it's rated for, let's see, 40,000 milliamps at 148 watt hours. And what this allows me to do is I can use this external battery connected to this DC USB 1 charging cable, and then in turn connect it to the Rodecaster and power the Rodecaster that way. As a matter of fact, I've been powering this Rodecaster device for the last several hours using this external battery. This Rodecaster is not currently plugged into the wall AC outlet. So that's what's really cool about that. And I'm able to, like, let's say, go to the beach, the sunny, sandy beaches of Santa Monica, and podcast to my heart's content remotely and on location. Now, I'm not tied to a wall AC outlet. So that's what's cool about that. Over here, we have the SanDisk. This is a micro SD card, 128 gigabytes in size. It's rated at 170 megabytes per second speed. So this is plenty fast for recording audio to your Rodecaster. I use it for my cameras, I use it for my smartphone, and it's just a very useful micro SD card. 128 gigabytes will get you up to 122 hours of continuous recording, so that's why I like the larger sizes. And it's like $39 on sale at Best Buy. All right, so moving over here, let's just show you a little more over here. Over here we have a laptop. What's really cool about this Rodecaster unit is that a laptop is not required to be connected to the Rodecaster. What I want to show you here is that I have the Rodecaster desktop companion app installed on this small little 10-inch touchscreen laptop. It's called a Microsoft Go laptop. It's probably the smallest full Windows 10 laptop that weighs like 1 pound. So I had this companion app installed so that it can transfer files back and forth, so that when I finish recordings on the Rodecaster, I can use the supplied USB cable connected from the Rodecaster to the computer, so then I can just transfer files that way, back and forth. I can also use the Rodecaster companion app to create new sound pads, jingles, that are used right here. When you press these buttons over here, these are called the sound pad buttons. And let's say I want to create like a new jingle, a new intro, a new outro. I can just simply create it and then transfer the file using the companion app to transfer the, I don't know if it's MP3 file or WAV file, but transfer that audio file to the Rodecaster. So, and then assign it to one of the one of the sound pad banks. Try to say that 3 times fast. And I'll show you that more in depth a little bit later. So that's the only reason why I wanted to show you the laptop, is for the companion app that's free to download from the Rode website. Over here we have the Audio-Technica M20X monitoring headphones. And that's only like $49, so it's pretty inexpensive for really high quality headphones. Over to the far right here, I actually have 2 microphones right here. I'm speaking into this microphone, which is the Shure SM58 microphone. And the one I'm holding on to right here is the Audio-Technica ATR 2100X USB-C microphone. And what's cool about this particular microphone, it has dual ports for XLR and USB-C, so that if I had no interface, such as a Focusrite Scarlett, I can still use this Audio-Technica microphone just by simply plugging in the USB-C cable from the bottom of the microphone into the computer, and then it's plug and play. So the computer will recognize this Audio-Technica microphone, and you can use it for example, like Zoom video conferencing apps. So this microphone that I'm speaking to is the Shure SM58 microphone. What's special is that, let me just zoom in here. What's special about this particular microphone, let me just, is that right here, this portion right here, this metal portion right here behind the microphone is the Triton FET head. It is a amplifier. It provides an additional 25 decibels of clean gain, so that I don't need to raise up my levels too high on the Rodecaster unit. So it's really quite useful. It's an $89 accessory from Amazon, and it really does make a noticeable improvement for giving me extra decibel without having to increase the levels either on the menu screen here or on the fader here, because if you raise up the levels too high, you will sometimes get that unwanted background hissing / humming noise, which you want to avoid. So what the FET head will allow me to do is increase my gain on my voice while not having to raise the levels too high on the Rodecaster unit. All right, so let me just zoom in a little more again. On the Rodecaster units here, you'll notice that I have this little device right here. This is the Rode Wireless Go wireless lavalier microphone system. So this is the transmitter portion of the unit. You'll see that there's two blue lights here. That means it's transmitting an audio signal right now, which is connected to, by way of this 3.5 millimeter to 3.5 millimeter aux cable. It's connected to the bottom right of the headphone in port of the Rodecaster. And what this allows me to do is, right now I'm talking into the Shure SM58 microphone. Let me just zoom out again. I'm talking into this Shure SM58 microphone, which in turn, my voice audio is going into the Rodecaster unit, which in turn, it's being remotely and wirelessly transmitted right into my camera, which is the Canon 90D DSLR. So on the top of the hot shoe is the receiver part of the Rode Wireless Go system. The receiver is on the hot shoe, and there is a 3.5 millimeter cable that's connected from the receiver down into the 3.5 millimeter mic in port of the Canon DSLR camera. So what I'm trying to explain about that is all of the audio is being, that I'm talking right now, all of my voice audio is being captured in real time, going from the microphone to the Rodecaster to the Rode transmitter directly into the Canon camera by way of the Canon receiver. And that's a really nice feature because it's providing redundant audio as insurance backup. Because let's say, for example, God forbid, your micro SD card gets corrupted, the file is unusable, which means you've just ruined the whole day of podcasting with your guest because you have no audio file. And so what this allows to do is to have redundant audio backup going straight into the camera, so that if something were to happen to the audio on the Rodecaster, you will still get the same audio file recording going directly into the camera's video. So that's just a really nice feature for redundant emergency backup if you need it that way. Also, what's really cool is, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, but this whole time I never even pressed the record button on the Rodecaster Pro unit. And it doesn't matter because the audio coming from the microphone to the Rodecaster to the transmitter is being sent wirelessly and remotely to the camera. The camera is recording all of the audio, even though I never pressed the record button on the Rodecaster Pro. Now, if I were doing a real podcast with my camera setup, I would, of course, press the record button because I want the Rodecaster to record the audio and for the audio on the Rodecaster to be the primary audio. And then the audio from the camera would be redundant backup audio. But the main audio that I want to use is coming from the Rodecaster, and the secondary backup would be from the camera. So I just want to explain that. So after I finish this video, I'm just going to upload it raw to the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel. I'm not going to do any post-syncing, no post-editing, no post-processing. The audio will be the raw file coming from what you hear right now. All right, so let me just show you. Let me just put on my headphones first so I can hear my own voice a little bit better. And let me just zoom in the camera a little bit more here. All right, so here are the sound pads right now. The sound pads, what it does is I'm going to press this music icon here, and then I'm going to go to bank number 1, and you'll see that bank number 1 has like all of these default jingles that is built into the Rodecaster. So at the top left is the intro. So when I press this button right here, take a listen. And just fade it down a little bit. Fade it up a little bit. So I can press the fade up and down button to make it louder or softer. Turn that off. Over here on this side here. Here we go. That's the laughter track. Applause. I love that sad trombone sound. It's called the rim shot. It's the scary Twilight Zone jingle. That's crickets if you find this video boring. If you like the video, that's the heavenly harp sound. So let me show you on bank number 2. When I press this button here, you'll notice that, I don't know if you can see it, probably not, but there's only 2 sound pads right now. I created an intro, a test intro, using that default jingle that's on the other bank number 1, and I just simply recorded my voice just to test out, how easy it is to create a personalized intro. So take a listen. Hello and welcome to another episode of KC on Location Podcasting Show. Let's get started. Okay, that's my little personalized intro jingle, and let's hear the outro that I created. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope to catch you again on our next episode of KC on Location Podcasting Show. So the reason why I wanted to show you that was, I literally did not read any instruction manuals. It was like so intuitive. I just went into the Rodecaster Pro companion desktop app and recorded my voice onto that default intro jingle that you heard previously. And then I just transferred the file to the Rodecaster Pro, and I renamed it to Intro Hello. And so that's how easy it is to use this Rodecaster for creating all types of personalized jingles and sound effects and what have you. So I'll be doing a whole lot more of that. What else? So the reason why, let me just put the camera a little bit closer here. All right, so let me show you the reason, one of the main reasons why I got this particular Rodecaster unit. It's because I will be, or I foresee myself doing interviews with guests that are not in person. We're living in quarantine times during this whole virus season, so I do not see myself going outside, meeting with guests live in person. So I will be doing remote podcasting with having guests on my show, on my podcasting show, remotely. So over here, let's see if you can see my fingers. Okay, over here, that is the USB icon. That is the smartphone icon, and that's the Bluetooth icon. So I was very easily able to pair my phone here to the Bluetooth, and I was able to make phone calls easily without even using this 3.5 millimeter cable. And it worked just fine. As a matter of fact, I did not even experience any latency delay using Bluetooth. I like that. I think probably, generally speaking, you want to, when possible, use the wired 3.5 millimeter cable so that there's no chance of any type of latency. And the USB and or the smartphone icon, what that means is I'm able to connect to a caller remotely using VoIP calls, VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol, because from what I understand, using that technology, the voice quality is much clearer versus calling someone's cell phone number, such as a Verizon or Sprint cell phone number. So you want to use a VoIP type of call using a VoIP app, such as like Google Voice or WhatsApp. I made a phone call to my friend using the Facebook call feature. So you just press the button. There's like this button you can make. That was actually the first time I ever made a phone call using the Facebook app, and I just wanted to test out that feature. And sure enough, it worked great. I connected to my friend using the Rodecaster Pro via Facebook phone calling app, and it was very clear. I also talked to him by cell phone. That worked out fine as well as I used him as a test for doing a Zoom video conferencing call app. That worked out just fine as well. So what I'm trying to say is these three functionalities here, the USB, the smartphone, and the Bluetooth, are the features that I really, really want for doing remote podcasting where I'm bringing in guests remotely. Because again, I don't see myself going outside anytime soon to be interviewing guests. And so that's the reason why I got rid of my Zoom H6 recorder, because it does not have this type of functionality. Also, the Zoom H6 recorder does not have what's called mix minus functionality, whereas this Rodecaster does have it. Mix minus means when you're talking to someone remotely, such as by a phone call, that other person will not hear his own voice as an echo or reverberation. That's what you want to avoid. So when a device or setup does not have mix functionality, that other person will hear his own voice as an annoying echo. This will not do that. This Rodecaster has built-in mix minus functionality on all three of these channels here, the USB, the smartphone, and the Bluetooth. It's just built into this device. So that's what I really like about this. You don't get any echo from your guest, and you can podcast remotely easily using all manners of remote apps and VoIP calls and what have you. So with this, I can also bring in, like, let's say a co-host, and have a co-host and myself, host a podcast show and bring in outside guests, and by either phone call or by like WhatsApp app or Facebook app or whatever. So that's what I really like about this Rodecaster Pro. Whereas previously my setup using the Zoom H6 and a Focusrite Scarlett interface could not have accommodated this same type of setup. Also, again, this Rodecaster is a standalone all-in-one solution. What that means is, with the memory card that's inside the unit here, this Rodecaster will record all the audio directly onto the memory card on the back of the unit. You need no computer whatsoever. Whereas something like a Focusrite Scarlett or a Mo2 or a PreSonus or any of those other brands of interfaces, you must have a computer connected to it. Otherwise, by itself, the interface is no good, meaning you cannot just simply plug in, say, an XLR microphone into an interface and start podcasting, start recording, because you need to have that connected into a computer for recording. With this Rodecaster, it does the recording for you. It does everything for you, including various sound effects. It just does everything. The last thing I want to mention is this microphone that I'm speaking into right now. Let me just focus in right now. Here's the front part of the Shure SM58 microphone. On the back side right here, the metallic part of right here, is the Triton FET amplifier. It really makes a huge improvement for adding extra 25 decibels of clean gain, so that my voice comes out strong, and clearly, without needing to bump up the fader up too high, or without needing to go into the menu and raising up the levels. Because when you raise the levels up too high, when you have the fader knob up too high, that can potentially introduce unwanted hiss and background electronic noise. You just want to avoid that. So what this FET head allows to do is it gives me a louder voice with extra 25 decibel gain, so that I don't need to have this knob here set too high. This fader knob is only set to either like 3 notches above 0 or 4 notches at the highest. Whereas without the FET head, I would need it to have at least at the halfway mark. Plus, without this FET head, I need to go into the menus and have the levels set for like 40 in order to have a decent loud enough to show my voice loud enough, to have my voice recorded loud enough. But with the FET head on, attached to the microphone, I can go into the menus and have the levels down to like 30, plus have this knob here down to the 3rd mark or 4th mark at the highest from the bottom. So it's definitely worth this $89 accessory for this Triton FET head. Some people will instead use the cloud lifter, and a cloud lifter will work just as well. The reason why I did not get a cloud lifter is because I just found the form factor of this Triton FET to be a lot more compact because you just simply insert it to the back of the microphone, and then the FET head is right here, and then behind that is the XLR cable. So it's just a very simple design that I prefer, whereas the Cloud Lifter, that actually costs more, by the way. I think it's like $130. And with the Cloud Lifter, it's like a rectangular box that you have to place on the table. And then you would need an additional XLR cable because one side of the cable has to be connected from the Cloud Lifter and then going into the back of the microphone. And on the other side of the Cloud Lifter, you need a second XLR cable going into the Rodecaster. Anyways, I didn't want that particular setup because that's just extra stuff that I don't want to have to deal with. I just thought the FET head was a more elegant, simpler solution, so that's why I got this. Plus, it's like almost half the cost. Anyways, it's well worth it. Let me just place this back on the stand right here. By the way, this stand here is like a little tripod type of stand. These legs kind of go in and out there, if you can see it. It's made by Amoon, spelled AMMOON. I got it from Amazon. I think it's like, I don't know, $14 each. And I have like a couple of these guys. And so that is pretty much it. And that's my preliminary setup for my podcasting setup here. And once I have my new table, that's by, can't even think of the name, Autonomous. It's like a $600 table, and it's really special because it's electric and it can raise by itself by the press of a button. So once I have that table in the next couple of weeks and I have all this equipment set up, including all my other gear, then I'll probably do another video to show you my new setup for that. So thank you for watching the video. I hope you liked the video and found this interesting. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I hope to see you again next time on Casey on Location. Check you out again.